Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is G Walker, one half of the CNG Podcast.
And I'm CJ, the other half of the CNG Podcast. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the CNG Podcast, Chicago Bulls weekly review show. This is episode 4. And regarding this Bulls team, I'm not very happy with this Bulls team. We definitely gonna get into it, but let me bring in G Walker in here real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hey G, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How everybody doing out there, man? Thanks for everybody that's pulling up and being part of the platform today. We, the Bulls not looking how we thought they were gonna look, and we're gonna get into it. CJ, do your thing, bro.
All right, man. With that being said, the elephant in the room to me is Billy Donovan, man. Billy Donovan, I don't know. I'm just going to say this first of all. Billy Donovan, he's been a coach for quite a minute in this league, for over 10 years or not, coaching OKC and now the Bulls. And he's been an assistant coach, I'm sure, years before that. But I have not seen adjustments by Billy Donovan. And the biggest adjustment that I think that he should have made and have not done it yet. Who's the best point guard on the team? Is Goran Dragic. That's who the point guard is. He makes everybody better when he's out there on the floor with them. My whole thing is that I know Ayo's out there, and maybe you get more props with Ayo because he's a hometown kid. That's what people want to see. But that's not necessary. He's not necessarily getting a team where they need to go as far as the starters. The Bulls are getting off to these slow starts. And it's not really helping when, for one, he's not shooting the ball too well. When Vooch gets the ball inside and kicks it back out, the shooters are not there. And we knew that was going to be a problem coming into this team, is that the shooting was missing. G Walker, what do you guys say about Billy Donovan?
You know what, bro? I have to agree with you, man. Billy Donovan has been a coach for a very long time, like you said. But one of his things is coming in. His thing is he doesn't develop talent too well, and he doesn't do good with adjustments mid-game. So what we're seeing now is Billy Donovan is who he is. He's not a coach that's going to make too many adjustments. He's a guard-dominant coach, so he'd rather play guards rather than play his bigs to help him rebound. So that's what we're seeing right now, and we picked up on that. Well, I picked up on that when we played the New Orleans Pelicans when he had Patrick Williams on the bench, and he had Javonte Green guarding Ingram. Before that, Ingram wasn't really had it going like that. Zion didn't have it going like that. But when he switched to Javonte Green to have him guarding Ingram, that's when Ingram's eyes got big and he took over that game. We lost that game. I see that's where Billy Donovan rears his ugly head, man. So it all starts with Billy Donovan. I'm not too happy, but he is who he is. And, if it continues, he might not even be here that much longer.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with that. But I think the fact that we really don't have a true point guard except for Goran Dragic, my whole thing is, okay, let's put Dragic in the starting line. Let's play him for 5-6 minutes in that starting line to get the guys going. Because the Bulls, I think one of the main problems that they're having is that they're getting off these slow starts and they're scoring 15, 20 points in a quarter. You can't do that with these playoff teams like Denver. You can't do that with teams that are just good teams by the pretty
well. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is what style of play do you want to play? Because what we see more than anything, I'm probably jumping a little far ahead, is DeMar DeRozan is ball dominant. When those guys can start that game, they're looking for DeMar DeRozan. They're not looking to get everybody involved. That's philosophy. That's Billy Donovan. So as much as I agree with you with the fact that Dragic should play, he should start. He's been into more battles. He's been into more basketball tight situations. It's on Billy Donovan to decide what type of style he wants to play. But that goes into what's in his offensive bag as a coach. You know what I mean? As far as plays and running plays for this person and moving the ball around, we don't really see it.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and that's a good thing that you brought up DeMar DeRozan because he was the next one to go into the pot to get cooked. Now, DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, I can't wait to get into this one.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan, when he was in San Antonio, Popovich had him running pretty much the point and setting guys up, so he knows how to pass the damn ball. Let's not get into he don't pass the ball. He knows how to do this. The problem is that Billy Donovan got him playing this ISO ball that's not working. It's not working, man. And the thing is, when you got Io DeSumo out there, you got Patrick Williams out there, you too good of a player not to make those guys better as an individual yourself. You averaged 7 assists a game on a San Antonio team that was not very good. So you are capable of doing these things. And the reason, I don't know why Billy Donovan has DeMar going back to the old habits. Because at one point in time, when they did have a point guard out there, you didn't see too much of this from DeMar. And then when they started going to Vooch, you really didn't see him do the things he did. Now all of a sudden they going right back into the old habits. But man, it's just not working, man. With the whole DeMar thing and ISO ball, it's not working. But G Walker, what you think about it, man?
You know what, bro? It's just the fact that, everybody fell in love with DeMar last season. Of course, he had a great season. All NBA, second team. He closed out a bunch of games for us. He was fourth quarter king last year, but that was last season. And to be honest, ISO ball, it wears a team down. You know what I mean? Because at some point, you become easier to guard because the defenses know what you're going to do with the ball. You're going to get that guy the majority of the possessions. You're going to have guys like Zach Lavine on the wing waiting for the ball. Then you're going to have guys like Patrick Williams waiting on the ball. So it's like it's a stacking offense. Like it's good. It looks good against the ball, and to the hoop. But as far as like building talent and having continuity and having chemistry, but as far as moving without the ball, you don't see that. It's a black hole. So DeMar, he might be wearing out his welcome here because nobody's really going to develop under that type of player. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, man. Like he's a great player. But like I always say, there's certain points in the game where you need DeMar to be that type of player. But for an 82-game season of him being that type of player, guys are going to lose interest on the offensive side of the ball because it's always going into him.
I definitely agree with you, man. And the thing is that him and Zach Lavine, who we're about to get into next, they got to start making their teammates better. They got to start making these guys better. This Bulls team does have talent on this team. The problem is that it's not being utilized the way it should be. These guys can pass the basketball. Zach Lavine, DeMar DeRozan, and Vooch. All these guys can make these guys better. And the thing is, and it's not so much really on Vooch, but so much on DeMar DeRozan. He's the one that's steering this ISO ball. And Zach Lavine as well, because I have to, Zach Lavine has been out for, a minute. He's been back trying to get his legs under him. Now, he's been getting better game by game as far as driving the ball to the basket, but it's still not enough. The game with the Pelicans, which was Wednesday, Zach Lavine did a lot of step-back three-point shots. I'm not a fan of that. I'm more of a fan of getting high percentage shots, which Zach Lavine is very capable of doing. And also, he did have 5 assists, so he was passing the ball, but Zach Lavine is going back into taking bad shots. And what I want him to focus on more is knowing when to take his shots and knowing when to get guys involved of the floor of the offense. So if he can do that, I think it would be better. But what you think, G Walker?
Yeah, man, it's coming down to the fact that these guys are scorers, man. Zach Lavine is a scorer. DeMar DeRozan is a scorer. So they're gonna go to their first skill set, what they were born to do. But I do think Zach Lavine is a better passer. He's a willing passer more than DeMar. Zach, he's had a game where he had 8, 9 assists, 11 assists, 13 assists a couple years ago or last year. So it just depends on what the philosophy of what we're doing on offense. Zach Lavine is taking bad shots. He's an ISO player himself because of the offense. But if you need Zach to play point guard, Zach can play point guard for a longer period of time in a game. I've seen him do it. But that one guy who needs 20 shots, DeMar DeRozan, that doesn't help the team. You know what I mean? That only helps him get his 20,000 points. So Zach Lavine, he's not the Zach Lavine I thought he would be. Outside of injury, he's not the Zach Lavine I thought he would be as far as the number one option. Me and you both said Zach needs to be the one, or play through Vooch. Having the ball in DeMar's hands the way they do it, that was something I never saw. And Patrick Williams being drafted to this team, I saw him as the point forward, Swiss Army knife type of player, along with Zach Lavine. That's not happening. Outside of Patrick Williams not probably being the potential player that he is, but he doesn't have the ball, which he was drafted for, to be that wing, that point forward. So, Zach Lavine, he needs to get it together. He needs to be better on defense. Zach Lavine and DeMar DeRozan are terrible defenders. So you scoring 30, 27 a game, but you're giving up 30 and 27 a game. So how does that look? And it's reflecting in our record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I definitely cannot disagree with that. Everything as far as what you said, man. I just think that the style of play, they gotta get back to what worked for them with the style of play, what was getting them wins, instead of doing what they're doing now, because it's not a good look, man. And when they had back-to-back games, especially against Denver and the Pelicans, they got blown out, man. So that has to change more so. But this last thing I want to get into before we move on to a couple other topics that we have over here, Vooch. I think he's playing well, but it was one particular play that pissed me off. It really pissed me off, and that was when Vooch had the ball in the paint against Brandon Ingram. Now you would think, G Walker, correct me if I'm wrong, you would think that Vooch would bag him down,
right,
and pretty much just score over him. Why did Vooch get the ball, took 2 dribbles, and kicked it back out? Man,
what?
Go ahead.
What? It just, I don't know, man. Sometimes Vooch, it's just bad habits, man. Sometimes he plays like a big man, and sometimes he plays like a finesse player. And he doesn't always have the attack mentality to go at a guy. A lot of times, and that was one of them, and it hurt us. So I don't know, man. Vooch, that's just a bad play. You want him to see him scored it over a guy that's smaller than him in height and smaller than him in weight, but he didn't take advantage because Ingram is tall. So maybe he didn't think he had the advantage at that point. But I agree with you, man. You want to see your big guy finish that. You definitely do.
Yeah, man. So hopefully this team will get it together, man. But let's get into these next topics. Walker pretty much put these next topics in, which I think they are good. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over these topics. Let's get into the first one that you had picked up.
All right, well, we're going to start with this. This is something that, people probably underestimated was Lonzo being pretty much better than DeMar and Zach and everything but scoring. And that's rebounding, that's assists, that's awareness, that's IQ, that's defense, that's switching, you know what I mean? So this quote says by Eastern Conference GM, Sean Devaney, Lonzo makes them run like an offensive engine. He gets the ball to shooters where they want it. He pushes the pace, runs the break so well. They're going to struggle offensively without him. And that's what's going on. He's a guy that looks for others. Basically, this is what this is saying. So he sees the ball, he gets it, he puts his head up and pitches it straight toward to the guy that's running the break to the wing. You know what I mean? You when you run the break like that, you don't give the defense a chance to set in their ways as far as whatever the defense they're going to run. So what we're seeing right now with this offensive ISO ball with DeMar, the defense is setting in and settling in, so they're clamping up. Lonzo doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He puts DeMar in the corner. He puts Zach in the corner, and he gets him the ball that way. You know what I mean? So we're struggling without our captain, Lonzo, man. It's unfortunate. What you think about this
one? I definitely couldn't agree with you more. Not having Lonzo is definitely has been a burden on the Chicago Bulls this season so far. The way that he just runs the whole offense. He has everybody in the spots where they should be to make sure everybody gets involved.
Agreed.
And the floor is spread when Lonzo is out there. You can see it. And the thing is that you can see why the Bulls are struggling, because everybody is getting the ball to one side and everybody just standing. They not really spread and moving the ball. So I think until the Bulls make an adjustment with that or do anything, they're gonna struggle, man. We don't know when Lonzo's coming back. We know that he's trying to get back on the court, but right now he's out. So they have next man has to come in and do his job and step up. Period.
I agree, man. I agree, and that's something that we're running out of reinforcements. It seems, but we do have talent on the same. But we're gonna get to the next overlay, and this is something that will let me know if the Chicago Bulls are really bought into Patrick Williams. I'm gonna read this quote. It says, "You will have to decide on an extension this summer, and Patrick Williams is not showing much. That is going to have you rushing to give him a lot of money." I don't really know what the rushing part of that is, but in my mind, as far as developing talent, you drafted a guy 4th overall to be your two-way player, to be your defensive stopper, but you get DeMar DeRozan in free agency. So DeMar's been here for 2 seasons, and Patrick hasn't had the chance to be what he was drafted to be. Like I say, now granted, Patrick hasn't shown what he can do, but maybe he's the type of player that needs the ball. We want to see DeMar DeRozan the type of player he is because he has the ball. But casual fans see guys not doing what they're supposed to do without the ball. Michael Jordan wouldn't be who he is without the ball. Steph Curry, you know what I mean? Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson. Some of these guys need the ball, and some guys need to be traded. There was a reason why DeMar DeRozan was traded from Toronto. He's not good. And what did they get back from him? They got the most elite two-way player, maybe outside of LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and they won a championship in Toronto that same season. You know what I mean? Because you have to play both sides of the ball. So, if they give this guy an extension, that means they're not going to sign DeMar. What do you think?
I definitely agree with you. I think the whole DeMar DeRozan signing, even though it was exciting to a lot of fans, I'm looking at it like, man, I want to see Patrick Williams develop because this kid does have talent. He can play, and we saw when those guys didn't play, and he stepped it up. So he's proven to score 20 points. All these guys are proven to score points when they are the number 1 or number 2 option on a basketball team. Look what Lauri Markkanen is doing with Utah. That's not a coincidence. He's the number 1 guy over there. Everybody, oh, look at Lauri. Lauri's the number 1 option over there. Who does Utah have besides Lauri Markkanen? So, people have to understand is that these guys are not bad players. It's all about the system that they're playing in. And I think G Walker, I know this is gonna kind of moving forward, but as far as DeMar DeRozan, I think the better option is to get rid of DeMar DeRozan and with some pieces now to get back some shooters, to get back some a power forward, something to where this Bulls can keep moving forward. Because I still say Zach Lavine is the number 1 option on his team, but I think it should be Zach, Patrick, and Vooch as far as those 3 guys, being the steer front of this team, and then adding pieces to go along with those guys, especially shooters and point guards and whatnot, whatever this team needs.
Hey, man, I totally agree because out of all those 3 players, they're the most willing passer outside of DeMar. DeMar's not a willing passer. We've seen him not look at guys on the wing next to him, and he's getting doubled and triple teamed in the middle of the court. You know what I mean? So out of those 3 guys are willing passers, but when one guy's so ball dominant, it makes those other 3 players who are willing passers look like they're not good basketball players. So we're going to move on. I hope Patrick, and I'm with you, man, I hope we move on from DeMar, and why keep DeMar? He's going to be more expensive anyway. Why not just stay with the young boy, pick up his contract, and build with him? Like it should have been, but, we're not AK. We're not Mark Eversley, so we're just fans. But we do know ball. We do know what we're talking about. But we're going to move on to the next thing, and this is more of an indictment on the head coach. This guy's down in the G League giving people 20 and 10 again for the 3rd straight year. Dalen Terry's down there giving people 18, 9, and 8 in his first and second game, or his first game. But they can't find the time on the floor to show what they really made of because Billy Donovan loves to go with journeymen. That's Andre Drummond. That's Javonte Green. To a higher extent, that's Dragic. So he's not the type of coach to where, he's going to develop talent. He's just going to play guys that's already been developed and hope they bring him the promised land. So at this point, Billy Donovan has failed these draft picks, and that's including Patrick Williams as his 4th overall pick. The excuses are starting to run out for Billy Donovan to me, and he is who he is. So what do you think about Marco not getting minutes, man, for the 3rd straight year?
I definitely agree with you. Marco's not getting the minutes. Dalen Terry is not getting the minutes. Patrick Williams is not getting enough. I know people are saying he needs to be more aggressive, but they're not getting enough minutes. And the thing is that I have no problem with Drummond because Drummond makes his team better as far as rebounding and assisting and everything else. I'm not a huge fan of Javonte Green. I'm not a huge fan of Derek Jones Jr. Why? Because you got guys that are 6'3" and 6'4" and 5 respectively playing power forward. And I knew that was not gonna work. I knew that they needed more size. I know that they need more shooting. Simonovic can shoot. He has size. Why not play him and put him in Javonte Green's minutes? The thing is, Billy Donovan is trying to win to save his job. He's trying to win as much as he possibly can. But the problem is that the Bulls fans are getting tired. We've seen this team go backwards, and it's nothing being done corrected about it. Now you can say, okay, they don't have Kobe White, they don't have Lonzo. I get it, but Billy Donovan is not going to play these young guys. Why? Because he's going to play the other guys, hoping that they get it together, hoping that they get those wins. And then guess what? The heat is off of him. But guess what? It is not, because fans want him gone. That's what's been going on over the last several weeks. That a lot of fans been talking that they want Billy Donovan fired.
Yeah, because it's starting to leak out on certain Bulls groups, certain Bulls pages. Because there's only so long you can blame DeMar. Only so long you can blame Zach. Only so long you can blame Patrick. Because Patrick, on as far as the blaming totem pole, he's last outside of 3 All-Stars, which is Zach,
Right.
DeMar, and Booch. Why are y'all blaming the guy that's not even an All-Star? You see that we have 3 All-Stars. We should not be struggling this way. So if you have 3 All-Stars, you struggling, that falls on the coach.
Mm-hmm.
That means the players are starting not to buy into what the coach is saying. So that's what's going on. But the narrative is going to be the players. And Billy Donovan said something about the players the other day. Like you say, he's trying to keep his job. But, bro, you have 3 All-Stars. You should be able to win games with Zach. You should be able to win games with DeMar. You should be able to win games with Vooch. Pick which one you're going to play your offense through depending on the mix, on the matchups you get that night, and go through them. Billy Donovan doesn't want to do that.
Nope. He wants to play this ISO ball. And ISO ball worked years ago. But now what we're seeing teams do, spread the ball out, get it to their shooters, get a low post man. If he gets double teamed, kick the ball out. Knock down the 3-point shot. We're seeing the game is more spreaded now. That's why the Bulls are struggling. They're going back playing this
Totally
2010
Totally
this
agree.
2010 ISO ball type of stuff, and that ain't working. So you got to play more of a spread offense. Billy Donovan ain't been in the spread, hasn't played the spread offense since Lonzo was running the team. And that's going to be the problem.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. We got one more overlay, and this is something that we got to start thinking about, fans. Trades. This is one thing I saw. Like I said, this is where we're at right now. We talked about DeMar, how he could be wearing out his welcome. His style of play doesn't help younger players develop. The reason why he might have got traded for Toronto is because that style of play doesn't work in this era, as CJ said. But the quote says, DeRozan and Caruso would give you a very good return if they were to make a trade. Stock back up in the draft, recenter your efforts around Zach. Well, here we are. Me and CJ already talked about how Zach should be the number one option. He shouldn't be deferring, especially if you're paying him $40 million. So here we are, people. We had one great season with DeMar, one good season with Billy Donovan. Hey, here we are. The Bulls are exactly where they predicted us to be, a middle-of-the-pack team. Here we are without Lonzo. This is what we look like. What you think about this, CJ, as far as trading DeMar?
I've been on board because the whole thing is that the Bulls don't have depth on their bench. I think even though people were happy about getting DeMar DeRozan, I said, man, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm hoping that this is going to work, but I really don't know. But now more that I'm looking at this team, they need to go back to what they did before they got DeMar DeRozan, which was they had Zach and Vooch. I was more excited for Vooch coming here than I was DeMar DeRozan going to Chicago.
Me too.
We got our big man. And then I was more excited about Lonzo because we got our point guard. So let's get back to that. Getting a point guard, getting a big man. And you know what? But before I end what I'm going to say, Bulls fans, I'm going to say this. The game tonight against Orlando, go check out Bo. Because I think he will be the perfect complement to Vooch. The way this young man plays, the way he plays, the way he brings up that ball, the way that he just scores and he blocks shots, I'm telling you, the Bulls need to get a player like this. DeMar DeRozan, They can. I don't care if they were to do a trade to get DeRozan out of there to send him to Orlando to get Bol some pieces back. I wouldn't be mad at that because why? Because Bol's gonna make the team better because he can play defense, he can block shots. He's not gonna have ask a lot in the scoring department. He's gonna do his job. So man, I definitely agree with this right here.
Yeah, man. And then what you do is you get rid of DeMar. You have one guy that's not good on the perimeter in Zach Lavine's defense instead of two. Then you just put Patrick up there at the top to guard the team's best player. So instead of having two bad defenders, you'll just have one. And you put Zach Lavine on the corner 3-shooter, and you let Patrick Williams guard the team's best player. But now what we're seeing is two bad defenders that can't guard the team's best player on the perimeter. That's not going to work. So, and this is what we're looking at right now. I don't know if this is still accurate, but right now the Bulls are the 11th seed, man.
It's accurate.
I'm disappointed. But at the same time, it is what it is. When you look at the way we play ball, the way the coaches players, favoritism, his lack of offensive skill, play calling, what's in his offensive sets, his bag. Billy Donovan is very limited, man. You're starting to see everything he's limited in a short amount of time. The honeymoon is over. And the honeymoon is over with AK and Mark Eversley. They need to retool this team, get rid of DeMar DeRozan before it's too late. Put the ball in Patrick Williams' hands as far as the point forward. Give it back to Zach as far as the scorer. And let Zach and Vooch and Pat be the willing passers they are. Because when the ball goes to DeMar, it becomes a black hole. Everybody's standing around watching. And most guys can shoot threes, but they're better shooting threes off the catch on the run and rhythm instead of just standing there in the corner and think somebody's going to make a three. So this is what you get, people. This is what you get. This is what you get. What you think, CJ?
I couldn't agree with you more. Everybody's happy about DeMar. Okay, yeah, he's a good scorer and everything, but what else is he going to give you at his age? My thing is trade him now. My thing is you get a power forward, somebody like a Bobo that doesn't ask for a lot of scoring. And I'm not saying that's what they're going to do, but get a power forward that at least you can put on that line to complement Vooch. Then you can put Pat at the 3 and let him do his thing. It's time to make this thing right. Instead of making what the fans want to see, we got to start doing it the way this team can win. It's not fair for the other players not getting their minutes. It's not fair for Patrick Williams, to be thrown into a position at power forward that wasn't his natural position. So it's time to make this right, man. Right now the Bulls are in the 11th spot. I'm not saying they do this now, but at some point in the season they got to think about something like this.
And I totally agree, man. That's my last topic right there. This was great. We don't have, every episode we do is not always going to be, rainbows and flowers, man. It's 82 games. It's been 16 games, 15 games, but these guys are not rookies. DeMar is 30-something years old. He is who he is. Zach Lavine is 28. He is who he is. Billy Donovan, he's a 50-something, 60, maybe 60-year-old coach. He is who he is. So it's time for AK and Mark Ellis to pivot into the future and not the past. So that's all I got, CJ. What you got before we get up out of here?
Man, that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much it, man. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode 4. We will be back 2 weeks from today with another episode. Thanksgiving week is next week. We hope everybody have a great Thanksgiving, have a great travels, enjoy the time with your family, and we'll see you guys back here in 2 weeks, man. That's all I got to say.
Hey, yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family, CJ. Hope you have a good week off, 2 weeks, and we'll get back to it. So that's it for us.
Same to you, brother.
We have this outro, and we're going to get up out of here, man. God bless y'all. Peace.
Y'all have a good one.